Hi all, Hipper here. Today is Hipper Day, and I'll just show you my setup here first. Well, it's very standard agile setup here. I have the aiming systems in upgrade 1, and then I have rudder in upgrade 2, and rudder in upgrade 3, no surprise there, and reload in upgrade 4. And just have a look at the sonar here, detection of ships 5.6 kilometers. That's nearly 2/3 of a radar, so don't forget that. Maneuverability 2.4 second rudder, really good. 37.7 maximum speed, that's not so good, but it's still doable. It is still an agile cruiser and it works well. It's also quite tanky, you can see here from the armor. Lots of yellow, which is nice, we like that. So just have a look at my commander here, and always use Lutyens on this ship here. And I have Müller as an inspiration, along with Azure Lane Baltimore, and Ingenious, full speed ahead, Velocious, steer clear, and then of course I have fully packed to give me another heal and another sonar. So that's my agile Hipper, and that's a build I've been using for like 2 years, I guess, a long time. The only change I've made was to change Fraser for Azure Lane Baltimore when she was available, to cut down the rudder a little bit more. So since the tier 7 French cruiser Charles Martel came out, Hipper has always been standing a little bit in its shade, and has only gotten worse as better and better cruisers came out, like Ochakov and Atargo and Prince Eugen, and yeah, Hipper pretty much got eclipsed by everyone, and I personally didn't play it for almost a year. Pretty much all of 2020 I didn't play it, and the beginning of 2021, and it wasn't until the buff last month that I picked it up again. And it's really funny how Hipper, which was until then probably my least favorite tier 7 cruiser, and I didn't play it pretty much at all, has suddenly turned into probably my favorite tier 7 Tech Tree cruiser, along with Albemarle. Funny that. And the reason is that before I had to choose between a sub 10-second reload build or an agile build, and obviously I always go for an agile build, and it worked well. There's nothing wrong with it, but it works even better now, where you get an agile build and a sub 10-second build in one. It makes this ship extremely powerful. This is also one of my favorite spawns in this ship, because you get like the ability to quite quickly wedge your way in here and surprise the enemies around this corner here, and that usually works really well in a brawling cruiser like Hipper, which you'll see in a moment anyway. And especially, I don't think there are any battleships on this side here, so there's nothing to slow me down. Like going through a bunch of cruisers is like cutting soft butter with the Hipper and the amazing AP on this ship here. I say that in every Hipper video, but it really is amazing. First we need to take care of this French destroyer here, because it's annoying. And there was a little bit of lag there, but so just gotta get him out of the way, and then we'll deal with the cruiser afterwards. And of course keep an eye out on for torpedoes, because that Suzuya there has quite a torpedo armament, but of course he can't really get to shoot them because of the angles, and that's why Atargo is better, at least in my opinion. So there was a nice double kill there, a destroyer and a Suzuya taking out the battle very, very early on. But unfortunately the same has happened for our team. I'm not really sure how that happened, but yeah, it happened. So now we just gotta push this Wichita here out of the way, and everybody is congregating on this side of the map here, which is like less than ideal, because it leaves the whole other flank undefended. But that happens a lot on this map here, because nobody wants to stay over at sea and actually do something useful, so instead they all flee over here. So yeah, someone just took that Wichita from me, otherwise it would have been a 6-kill match, this one here, but fine, so be it. So just waiting for this Cleveland here to be in position, and see if we can just whack him around the corner here. Unfortunately I didn't get any citadels, of course, because it is so difficult to do that on Cleveland. I think Edinburgh is one of the best at doing it, and even Edinburgh has to be really close. Yeah, it's just like Cleveland is very powerful, but not in a good way. It's a bit like Wichita, where you can get away with stuff that makes no sense, and by playing Cleveland, you don't become a better cruiser player, that's for sure. Because as soon as you get into something else, you can't get away with that stuff. So here I'm trying to save my torpedoes here. I don't want to take him out because he has so little health, there's no point. I might need my torpedoes later on. So just tricking him there. And then these annoying carrier planes here we also have to fight off. So it's time to take B now before the enemy potentially gets set up their positions in here and makes it really hard. Because like I said before, my whole team is on, well, what was the right flank. And I don't know what they're doing there, like confirming each other all the time. And we need to get this B cap here so we can be sure that we're actually going to win. And there's only 2 cruisers up here now, which is perfect. That is Hibber's, well, favorite. And I just gotta wiggle our behind here to escape the Percival's bombs, because I will deal with him later. And then we have a nice tier 6 squishy cruiser, and another thing Hibber really likes. We don't really get a good hit on him there, and then he starts to slow down. He wants to smoke up, so we'll just account for that. Almost got him there. But, so now he's slowing down, so we'll stagger our shots here in case he decides to speed up again, and I don't want them all to miss. So that was it. He's gone. And there's a battleship on my left, but he looked like he was busy doing something else. So I don't really worry too much showing broadside to him. I'm more worried about this Parzival here. It's really annoying. I didn't really care much for carriers earlier, like as long as it was Lexington and stuff like that. They didn't really do much. But I think that Parzival is just absolute. That's something to be feared, and I'm not sure yet if I will say that it's a little bit too powerful. But it is definitely, compared to the other carriers, it is like, yeah, I don't know, double the threat. And I don't know if that's the intention from Wargaming's side, but I guess we'll find out if they nerf it next update. I mean, until the German carriers, I didn't even bother with the anti-aircraft builds, because like even if you got hit with bombs from Lexington or torps from Chicago, it wasn't much of a problem. But these AP bombs here, they are a problem, even for cruisers. I mean, if you have an agile cruiser, it's definitely easier to avoid the salvos, but at least the first attack. But when the planes comes around again, then like you're already so low on speed for dodging that it's difficult. And especially with the vulnerability, the invulnerability on the planes, it just makes it even more difficult. And at least it means that the anti-aircraft power-up is a viable build now, but I'm still not sure that possible it should be that powerful compared to the other carriers, the other tier 7 carriers. I mean, I don't really mind powerful carriers as long as they're not any more powerful than possible is. But if you're on a team where one team has a German tier 7 carrier and the other team has a Japanese tier 7 carrier, you will lose if you're on the team with the Japanese carrier. I haven't seen a single team win where the teams were with that layout. Here I'm having a really tough time citadeling the stupid Miyoko here. Just overpin after overpin. So yeah, I think definitely Wargaming should have a look at possible if they really wanted to be that good in comparison with the other carriers. I mean, I think it's strange because with one fell swoop, it just makes every other carrier a liability, basically. If you, like I said before, if you are in an American or a Japanese carrier, you are a liability to your team, because odds are the opposing team will have a German carrier and will have a much easier time to take out ships. Surely that can't be right. So I guess, like I said, I guess we'll find out. So here I finally get my Kraken. I was chasing this Miyoko here to get the last shot in. And that's it. And I have gotten a lot more Krakens in Hipper in the last month and a half, I think, since the update, than I have ever done before. Charles Martel used to be my tier 7 go-to Kraken cruiser, but with the better reload here on Hipper, this is now my Kraken ship. Not that I really go chasing Krakens that much. I'm not meta jerk, but when it happens, it usually happens in a Hipper, and that reload helps a lot. So I'm going all in on this carrier here now, because I just took a massive hit, and there's no way I'm going to be able to turn around and survive. So I'm just gonna take a big chunk out of this carrier as much as I can, and then I'm going to sit back and see if my team can pull off the win here. We are ahead by 2 ships, so it shouldn't be that hard. So I was hoping to take the carrier out there, but of course, no citadels. And that has been happening a lot, actually. Got the carrier right in my sights, and I fire, and I just get overpins. And it takes a lot of effort to get that close to a carrier in the first place. So getting cheated out of what is basically a kill shot is it's more critical than it would be with any other ship, basically. And yeah, I get overpins and yada yada yada. I know how it works. But one thing is overpins, and another thing is overpinning everything. It's yeah, it gets a little lame, actually, in the long run, because it takes any like predictability out of this game. I realize there's RNG and lots of randomness in this game here, but I think overpins are a little bit too random, in my opinion. So I'm just going to skip the rest of the battle here and just quickly show the scoreboards here. We had 87, that's okay, but we got a Confederate, a Kraken, a double strike, and yeah, close quarters, whatever, not so important. But fun game, despite my whole team actually going to one side, and like against all odds, we actually won this battle here. I was fully expecting a loss, but yeah, things happen. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you out there.